Hi everyone, I'm Leanne Kirkup and I'm one of the health literacy trainers in the North East and North Cumbria Health Literacy team. I am back with another health literacy accessibility video, and this one is on headings or using headings in your written work. So first question then, what do we mean by headings, or how can you add them to your work? So why do we need them? Headings basically, they sum up the key point in a section, and they are very useful to help break information up so that information is easier for someone to digest or read or scan. And they must, when being used, be relevant to the information in that section. If you're going to use them to break information up, you may as well use it, those multiple headings to kind of make sure they're relevant to each specific piece. So why do we use them? Well, we use them to help people scan information, as I've just said, and find the part that they need. Sometimes when information is given to someone, they don't necessarily need all of it. They may just need one or 2 points. So rather than reading the full thing, if they've got headings in there to break information up, they can scan to the bits that are more relevant to them. And when information is broken up, it is easier to follow. It's easier to concentrate on. So it's an easier read in general for people. Why do we use them? So here is an example of using headings in written information and how much of a difference they can make. So really, when we look at this on the screen right now, both sides, it's the same information. The information on the left, granted there's no headings, there are some gaps there. The information, you can see some clear chunks of information there, but there's no headings. So it still just looks like one long block of text. It's a lot of information all at once. And for some people, that genuinely is enough to make them put that down and not read it. Because it's, especially as I said before, if somebody only needs a few specific points, by looking at that, it's harder to scan to see what's, relevant to them. So a lot of the time people will just put that down. Whereas on the right, that we actually haven't done a lot to it. You can see there are 3 headings on there. Doesn't seem like much of a change, but straight away it's broken that information up into easier sections. The headings tell you what each section is about, and it just makes it easier to follow, or better still, it helps you go straight to that section that you want or need, without maybe having to read the full thing. So it's just, again, a nicer read for the person on the receiving end. So when it comes to writing headings, how might you write them, or how might you add them to your own text? In whatever it is that you're putting together. So first off, just look for sections of text that don't have a heading. You can also apply this to, once you look at information that does have headings in there, you may think, actually, that's not quite relevant, so let me change that. But when you're going off and you're going to add headings for the first time, just look for section of text that don't have anything already, and just think about the key point of that section when you break it up. What is the main message of that? And then you can make sure that that heading is relevant to that information that's going to follow. Write it in simple words, keep the language simple, and just write it as a question that someone might ask, because again, it's that, friendly, warm conversation style going on. And here's a few examples of it now. So on the left with the big cross above it, we've got, what is Parkinson's disease? And there's actually not much wrong with that. It's a question. The information is underneath there. We've got some bullet points, but we would take that a little bit further and we'd break it up just a little bit further, because actually there's 2 bits of information going on there. You've got the answer to what is Parkinson's disease, but then it follows with symptoms. So we've just broken that up. So we have what is Parkinson's disease, and then we have the answer, and then what are the symptoms as a heading, and then the answer for the symptoms following. So it just breaks it up that little bit further for the reader. Then when I was talking about using simple words and simple language, this is the example of it. So we've got contraindications to treatment. Now, that is a word that not everybody is going to understand. And believe me when I say that that is enough to put people off reading it. So although it's a heading and it's got the answer to the contraindications to treatment there, we've changed that slightly and we've used some more simple language for people. And we've just simply said, are there any reasons that I cannot have treatment? It's just another way of writing contraindications to treatment. It's more conversational. It's that question that people might ask. And then we have the reasons that you might not be able to have treatment underneath that heading. So again, just, reader friendly. It's a nicer way to break that information up and use a heading. Then we've got information required by registrar checklist. And then on the other side of that, we've got what information do I need to give the registrar office? Again, we're just keeping it as questions that people may genuinely ask, because it's a nicer, easier read. It's not much of a difference there, just the way that we've written that heading. It's warmer, it's more friendly, and going back to some of the other videos that you might have read, especially when it comes to watched, sorry, especially when it comes to the tone of your writing, then that really does come into the headings that you choose. So that really is it when it comes to adding headings to your written work. Think about keeping it as questions, keeping it relevant, breaking information up where you possibly can, and using simple language that people would use when or if they were to ask a question. Now, this video, you may or may not know, is part of a group of videos that we've put together on different tips and guidance for making your health information easy for everyone to understand. So if you do have any questions, please get in touch. You can email us directly. The email address is on the screen there, but it is stsft.nanchealthliteracy@nhs.net. We also do have a website, so you can find further information about health literacy, or it'll give you any dates to upcoming training that we've got on different sessions when it comes to different parts of health literacy. That is on the North East and North Cumbria Integrated Care website. So please feel free to, head over to that and have a look at what's available. And if you feel that you need or want to watch the other videos, they are available for you too. So thank you very much for listening.